So hi and welcome to Metal Life for the first time.
It's great to be here.
It's nice to see you in Zagreb, finally.
It's beautiful, yeah.
Many fans been waiting for you here, as you know.
I can figure there's a certain sensation. I met some people downstairs when we did our sound check, and they illegally got in and they witnessed some of the songs we played. So they seem to be in a very exciting mood. So
you don't mind them snooping in and listening to the song?
We did not recognize, to be honest. Usually we don't have any people in, and we try to avoid it unless there is press or so. And it has been clarified with our people. Then these people can stay in, but usually no one is allowed. But they somehow got in, and lucky them.
Yeah, they got lucky.
Yeah.
On this tour, you're still promoting your still actual album.
Right.
The last one that came out last year.
That's true.
So I actually wanted to ask you something about it.
Okay, not too much, hopefully.
Not too much because I know it's kind of old by now, but I wanted to ask you, especially you are a band that has storytelling lyrics, kind of.
For most parts, yes.
Yeah, so I wanted to know what books inspire you this time. I know everybody's asking you that. But
there were different ones, but certainly The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan has been a very big influence, as well as some of Milton's writings. There is something related to Paradise Lost. Another song is related to another political writing of Milton called The Tenure of Kings and Magistrates. And well, then a massive amount of songs is also inspired by Songs of Ice and Fire.
Songs of Ice and Fire.
Yes.
So there is a song, War of Thrones, right?
Right. Yeah, that's a sort of hybrid. It is inspired by Songs of Ice and Fire, but also inspired by a story by Peter S. Beagle called The Innkeeper's Song. And I couldn't make up my mind, in which direction to go. So it fits to both stories. That's the nice thing. And so you can see it is a sort of storytelling, but it gives you the freedom to define it in both directions.
I was also wondering, so all songs are related to some kind of fantasy tales, but is there anything personal in them? Do you have personal problems that you write about, like many bands that do that? Or?
Yeah, it's in there, and it's also a chance to put in my perspective on things in general, be it religious, political, or individual. And there is stuff heavily influenced by my life or any band member's life, like Ashes to Ashes or the Bard song, even though especially the Bard song is a totally fantasy-inspired lyrical topic. The music has been written when my father passed away, so there always is that individual approach, but people either do not care in terms of Blind Guardian or they do not realize. But a lot of people, they know how to work with the stuff, and they take it for their, for their own way of living as well. So there's always a scratch of reality in everything.
And you mentioned Bard songs. There are always songs that you just have to play because of the fans. And you have to probably play them every night because everybody wants to hear them.
Mostly,
do you get
yes.
tired of that?
No. Some of the band members are tired of Valhalla. I'm not. Yes, of course, it is somehow not as interesting to play Majesty as, for instance, The Wheel of Time. But since the music has such a strong impact on people, gives back so much energy to us, so we don't have any problems in playing these songs. We from time to time skip songs. Even Valhalla is not played constantly every night, but you almost can count on Valhalla. But there were several occasions where we just decided, no, tonight we don't play it. And sometimes people even don't realize, because over these 20 years we somehow managed to come up with at least 5 or 6 instant classics, which seem to be enough for the people of this evening. Even Bard song hasn't been played every night. Sometimes we don't have the right acoustic guitars, and then we have to make different decisions. But
there you have enough hits, to make it up.
I would say so, yes.
How does it feel like to have so many people in front of you singing your lyrics and your songs? Not many metal bands have that.
Luckily, that's the case with Blind Guardian. I mean, the whole music is designed for that. So it is a big part for us as well. And once this is not going to happen, I think the special Blind Guardian happening in a concert will not exist anymore at that point. So we pretty much depend on it. And we value that a lot.
So it must feel great. I mean, seeing all those people sing the songs that you wrote.
It is amazing. Like yesterday, for example, even though that became a trend over the years, when we played Valhalla, the people didn't stop singing afterwards, you know.
Yeah,
We do have that
happens
extension
too.
already, but even then, you know, I just made a little break and did not start talking directly, and they took the opportunity and kept on singing for the next 3 or 4 minutes, and of course we enjoy that.
Yeah, I remember the gig in Slovenia that we mentioned
Yes.
earlier. Everybody were singing. I mean, you don't even have to sing.
No,
Everybody's singing the
no,
stuff. So.
Bart song the same, you know. It's great, and sometimes it's very healthy for me because I need that rest, you know. I'm getting older, and so that's really cool.
And I noticed that when it comes to last 4 albums, you have album out every 4 years somehow. So why does it take you longer now to write albums? Because there are some bands that publish albums like every year, every 2 years.
And that's how they sound. Well, we take our time because we feel that the music deserves all the attention over a certain period. Another fact is that we tour heavily and far longer than we did when we did Somewhere Far Beyond. We have been on the road for 6 weeks and then another 2 weeks in Japan, that's all. Nowadays, touring at least take a whole year and even more. And during that time, we are not able to write any songs. So that's probably the easiest explanation why it takes so long nowadays. We work on it and we try to be quicker, but whenever a new idea and a new song comes up, we just feel that it demands all that attention, and we won't finish before we feel we are finished. And, well, other bands do have a certain different philosophy in terms of songwriting and releasing albums, and if they're lucky and if it's a good album, then it's a good album, but we feel more secure that way.
If they're well done, I
Yeah.
guess. You also cooperated with some German bands like Halloween and Kai Hansen and everybody. And I would say that it is a specific sound that all you guys have, like Halloween and Gamma Ray and Blind Guardian. I mean, you listen to the band and you can right away say that it's a band from Germany.
Yeah.
How would you explain that German sound of power metal? Of
I believe it's the melodious ingredients which unify all these bands and which makes a difference to either Scandinavian or Italian bands
Yeah, it's typical.
do have a different approach in delivering melodies and arrangements. I would say there is a sort of German pattern which is fairly individual, and though inspired by 80s music, it has the ability to catch up even more and goes further direction, and that can be said about any of the bands you mentioned.
So you do recognize this typical German sound?
Yeah, I definitely do, and partly even we as a band have been influenced by these other bands, starting with Accept or Halloween. They certainly did have their moments which to motivate us to go even further and put things in different directions.
Okay, that's actually all that I wanted to ask you
Thank
for
you.
this time. I'm going to leave you to enjoy your tea.
I will.
And I wish you a great show tonight.
you.
I'm sure it's going to be great and hope to see you again here.
I have good hope. Thank you. Hallo, hier spricht Hansi vom Blind Guardian. Ihr schaut The Metal Eye auf Zagreb 1.